Mabuhay, Kamustika, welcome. How are you? This is Dr. Philippines from the studios of Love Beyond the Sea. I have another relationship question for you. I want to be loved by more than my family. Why do I feel like nobody loves me when there are clearly people who love me, like my family? Can you relate to this? Please subscribe to Love Beyond the Sea for relationship questions and answers and leave a comment. Dr. Philippines does these once in a while, but my channel is also about my relationship with my wife and my past and how I found her and the things that I try to do to make a good marriage for us. Now, most of us want a relationship, so I think people should be able to relate to these type of questions. Get notifications for upcoming videos about finding and experiencing marital love, as I did with my wife in the Philippines about 5 years ago. Comments are encouraged as always, and you can do that in the community corner message forums, in the relationship lounge, and the lifestyle lounge. That link is the fifth from the top in the description box. The fourth link will take you to the blog site with more Love Beyond the Sea social media. There's nothing wrong with family love, of course. It's quite essential, I think, to well-being. That's where you hope to find acceptance, physical and emotional needs met, and have fun, and have people that will support you. Being loved by family members is very healthy and good for society. Without it, a child will likely grow up to be a delinquent. I can relate to this question in a way. My mother and sister were often sounding boards for my extreme frustration with being single for so long, and they kept me from jumping off the ledge. I knew they loved me, but it just seemed like there was something even better out there and just as natural that was missing from my life, and that was a wife. God gave the first man he created a wife within 24 hours on day 6 of creation, according to the Bible, which I believe is the only place to get real truth and wisdom. God established marriage as the norm right from the beginning. Genesis 2:24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Ideally, this would happen as soon as possible to enjoy the benefits of marriage and to avoid the temptations that go with being unmarried. Living with family is great, but being married to someone, I believe, is even better and the very best. I want to be loved by more than my family is not talking about, eros or erotic love, since that's only for marriage. But I think the sentiment is talking about the desire to experience the give and take love relationship between a man and a woman, just each other, and have it day after day. There is something about having that one special person in your life. Of course, I'm assuming here that the relationship is a good one. Your family won't always be there for you, but you expect your spouse to. It is there that you also find acceptance, physical and emotional needs are met, and you have fun and support each other. There is intimacy and the possibility of children, which should bond the couple together even more. And I think these children should be taught to get married. I know that doesn't seem to be in vogue anymore, but I will beat a different drum. My answer to this question is that we are simply wired for the companionship of marriage. We do have legitimate needs that are to be met there. If you have a good marriage, you might not care if anyone else likes you, even your family, because you and your mate have each other and are invested in each other's lives. There are men that seem to think that having sex with a bunch of different women is the greatest life there is. But that's ridiculous, because a man and a woman are to complete and complement each other, not leave behind a slew of hurts and disappointments. The good stuff only happens in a committed relationship. And by committed, I mean married. Some guys think it's boring being tied down to one woman for a long time, let alone a lifetime, but that's what God teaches we should be doing. It is not boring or uninteresting to get to know your spouse really well. I married my wife from nearly 10,000 miles away in less than 8 weeks. I flew to the Philippines to meet her for the first time and returned a married man 4 weeks later. I love being married. I love being with my wife. I tell her together is my favorite place to be. I love that we have had to continue to get to know each other in marriage, and our relationship continues to get stronger. It's never boring. We have plans for our future together. It never gets old, and why should it? Don't feel guilty if you're longing for marriage, and don't let anyone try to talk you out of thinking highly of marriage. Someone could say that the love of a family is safer than being married since your family isn't going to divorce you. But do you want to play it safe or be united with someone to mutually care for each other for the rest of your lives? Leave a comment, if you will, about wanting to be loved by more than your family. Oh, sometimes, people try to find that love and they end up looking the wrong places. And then they end up with the wrong people, being desperate for love from another person. So be very careful to look for someone with character that you can trust. Your heart might get broken a few times during your search, and even in a good marriage, there will be times you'll be at odds with each other, but that is nothing that can't be overcome. I want to be part of the solution with Love Beyond the Sea and explain what I know to be the best way to live in harmony with each other and maybe help end the mass loneliness that exists today. At least do my part. I have about 460 videos at the moment. Check out the playlists and subscribe to learn about finding and experiencing marital love here on Love Beyond the Sea.